said, average handle time, abandon rates, throughput, you know, or delays, all that sort of thing. And then mark in green all the things which are measures of outcomes, right? And you'll find typically Pareto kicks in and 80% of the measures will be red measures. So the emphasis there is we want to be measuring more outcome measures. So to your project question there is that we're measuring the wrong things, which is causing abhorrent behavior, which compromises customer success. So we've got to get that mechanism in place, which talks about measuring the right things. And what are the right things to measure? Well, what's the customer need we're trying to satisfy? Now, how can I articulate those in 4 or 5 discrete measures that we know we've delivered against that need? Right? Even when the customer can't, you know, and don't go and ask the customer what they want, because they'll tell you, and then more fool you if you go and deliver it. You know, it's like asking our kids what they want for dinner. What's he going to say? He said pizzas, gummy bears, ice cream, custard, all on the same plate, right? We know, as good parents and, in my instance, grandparents, we know what they need. And there's probably something on the green scale with a little treat afterwards. So why do we incessantly keep going asking our customers what they want? Because they tell us. And then we go and do it. And it still fails. Right? We've got to figure out what they need. Right. So I don't know that solves the problem in terms of project management, because until the measurement system changes, but then part of this whole movement around customer experience is having it's happening at every level in the organization. You've got to open the conversation about, do you know, I'm delivering projects on time, to budget, and achieving the deliverables, and you'll pay me a bonus for doing that. Yeah. I don't think it's really improving customer service. In fact, our customer satisfaction figures are going through the floor as a consequence of that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, definitely. So another question related to training. The question says that they conduct the training, customer service training, a very good program, and they spend the time with the people for 3 or 5 days to conduct customer service training, a very good customer service training, and people finishes the training and they are so happy and they are so motivated and they wanted to help the customer. But the very first moment they go and meet their supervisors, they meet their managers, they start to tell them, no, forget everything on the training that you have. Forget everything related to the training. We are in the ground right now. We need to generate money. We need to generate profit. So forget about it and let's go back to our matrix or our KPIs.
Yeah.
So what trainers will do in this situations?
Okay. The way I do this thing called organizational judo. You've got to work with the energy that's already in the organization, rather than trying to introduce new energy and push against something, you know, the immovable object. You're not going to be able to do that. So in that situation, in that sort of scenario, I will be finding out, as the individual who wanted to, you know, improve customer service and customer experience, what are the metrics that are driving the behavior of my supervisor? You know, what are the numbers that they have to come in against, right? If I can guarantee I'm going to get you those numbers, if I can show you, oh, I'll get you those numbers, and they won't believe you, right? Because they're going to say is, yeah, all that customer sold, that words and all those things, they don't mean anything. Say, look, these are your targets, agreed, right? And you might have to go below the radar to actually discern what they are and how they're being measured for success. But let's say you manage to do that. Then if you can say to them, look, I need a week's worth of time to deploy a way of working which will not only deliver those numbers, but go significantly better, right?
Yeah.
Now, they're going to go and say, no, I don't believe you. And you go, what's the worst that could happen? We're going to have a week where we're going to do it the way I would like us to do it, the way we've been trained, right? We're going to do a week like that. And if we haven't got those numbers at the end of it, great. We can put the lid on this and we can put it back in the cupboard. But if I do deliver those numbers, I want the remit to do more, right? So I'll talk to, in our training programs, we talk about let the doing of this stuff become the advocacy to do more. Don't try to sell people on this stuff directly because they won't get it. You know, hence the very reason for the pack is that if you're going to be able to demonstrate you can reduce costs and grow revenue at the same time. If somebody come to me back in the day when I was, you know, managing the 30,000 people in city and said, look, Steve, I can reduce your cost by 5%, I would have snatched the hand off. well, I'd have probably done an elbow bump now, but you get the idea. I would have done something like that. This stuff that I'm talking about, the way we train it, will fairly typically take 20-25% of costs out. And people go, well, yeah, but how does it do that? And you go, well, it's identifying the things you don't need to be doing anymore. And in stopping doing those things, you release that as a cost. Now, most of the levels we've got in our organizations, the KPIs are driving all the behaviors, and the KPIs are usually geared around how many of these things have you done this week or this month or this quarter. If you get the inside track on that, and then see how by doing what you've been trained to do in terms of customer service, customer experience, can meet those metrics, they're not going to argue with you. And after a week, you've demonstrated it. They're going to say, well, what sort of alchemy was that? What sort of magic were you weaving to actually achieve those things? And you go, well, it's a structured approach to actually improving service and experience.
Yeah. I faced that before, and I followed the same exact approach. And then I found the management, they told me that let's plot the same experience, the same exercise, the same training across all our facilities. Cool. And that was for me a great achievement, that I was able to convince them that we need to conduct the training for each and every one, because this is essential. Yep. One last question related to call center. I have a call center agent who asked this question. He tells me desperately, he tells me that he has a lot of issues, a lot of challenges in this environment of call center, because it's very dynamic. And some challenges happen, like if he wants to get annual leave and he couldn't because of the rush of the calls, because of the seasonality, maybe because of some changes happening and so on. So he feels that he is so demotivated to do his work. And also his work is, let me say, it's the same exact work he's doing every day. He's responding, telling the same greeting, giving the same information, meeting the same people. It might be one particular customer who repeats every day or every single hour because he has an issue, or he knows that his company, his organization, they have issue, right? And he is obligated to tell the customer, sorry, customer, we wanted to inform you that the problem will be solved within, and so on. He